I'm having a baby with my boyfriend, Stefon Diggs. I'm excited. I'm happy.
Oh, my personal life? Yeah. I told you about that. We won't talk too much about my personal life, but I heard about it.
Y'all, stop scrolling and listen up. Imagine waking up to a headline that flips an entire celebrity love triangle on its head. Offset allegedly raging behind the scenes, claiming he's the real father of Cardi B's new baby, while Stefon Diggs, the superstar boyfriend, is caught in the middle of a storyline that looks less like romance and more like a high-stakes game of chess. If that sounds wild, it's because it is. And tonight, we're pulling the thread. Every rumor, every receipt, every contradiction, until the whole sweater of this story unravels. By the time we're done, you'll have your own verdict on the question lighting up the timeline: who's being played, who's doing the playing, and who's about to pay the price. Cardi B's world didn't explode in a single moment. It built up like a storm. For weeks, people whispered. A dress here, a camera angle there, the kind of soft, rounded silhouette that fans swear they can spot from 2 pixels and a guess. She tried to keep things quiet. Deals to close, family to brace, a private timeline that didn't quite match the speed of the internet's curiosity. But the internet doesn't care about your timing. A paparazzi shot turns into a thread turns into a theory. Before long, everyone's dissecting shadows and sleeve folds like they're CSI, and the conclusion starts to solidify. Cardi's pregnant. Then comes the reveal, public confirmation that she's expecting and that her boyfriend is NFL star Stefon Diggs. Relief, right? The question mark becomes a period. Except not everyone is ready to end the sentence, because where there's a glow, there's also heat. And the heat comes from a familiar place. Offset, the soon-to-be ex, now positioned as both the past and, if you believe the chatter, possibly still part of the present. Let's keep it real about Stefon for a second. His reputation doesn't exactly whisper. Teammates have joked on camera about keeping their sisters away from him. Fans talk like he's a walking highlight reel on the field and a certified risk off it. The rumor mill says one thing, then another. Overlapping relationships, messy timelines, relations with exes that flare up like old matches re-sparking in a windstorm. Whether every detail is true or not, the brand is set. Stefon Diggs is exciting, magnetic, and, for the women in his orbit, complicated. Now put Cardi in that frame. She's fresh off a years-long saga with Offset. Breakups, makeups, public forgiveness, private resentment, and enough subtweets to fill a chapter book. People loved them. People hated them. People were invested because the romance felt like a roller coaster that never stops to let you off. So when Cardi announces a baby with Stefon, the reaction isn't simple. Some fans are cheering for her new chapter. Others are clutching pearls and asking how a woman who escaped one storm ended up sailing toward another. And right as the public opinion needle starts wobbling, Offset lurches it in a new direction. First, he floats the kind of line that gets screenshotted into eternity, that he might be the real father of Cardi's baby. Then there's talk of DNA tests. Then there's the contradicting posture, because just weeks earlier, when commenters pushed him, he took the not mine lane. If you're confused, you're not alone. It's either a timeline problem, a clout problem, or a truth problem. Maybe all three. What makes this mess potent isn't just the claim, it's the context. Once upon a feud, Offset threw shade about paternity during another pregnancy, only to be pulled back by receipts. Texts allegedly surfaced that told a different story than the one he was selling publicly. Private messages that sounded contrite, affectionate, even thirsty, colliding with public posts that sounded defiant and dismissive. It's the classic celebrity two-step. Tell the world you're over it, then spend the night sending heart eyes in the DMs. That contradiction is gasoline on rumor fires. Because now when Offset says, "That baby's mine," the audience has a memory. They remember when he denied, then backtracked. They remember him pressing to reconnect in private while framing himself as done in public. And they remember Blog Tea, claims that he and Cardi may have still been seeing each other after the split. Nothing in celebrity land exists in isolation. Every new allegation drags the archives out of storage. And then there's the money narrative, because there's always a money narrative. The divorce chatter turned practical fast. Alimony, child support, who owns what, who keeps what, who out-earned whom, and what's left after the lifestyle is paid for. The Whisper network paints Offset as a spender with a taste for risk and glitter, and Cardi as the saver with the deed folder and the accountant on speed dial. If Offset's finances are stretched, and if he's testing the legal waters for support, then a paternity claim, right or wrong, becomes a powerful lever, not just for clout, for negotiation. But let's not act like this is a one-sided calculus. If Stefon is the boyfriend on record and the public father-to-be, he's not just a romantic stake. He's a headline, a brand, a contract. The story that his name sits in matters. If the narrative becomes Stefon Diggs, new father with Cardi B, that cements a public bond. If the narrative becomes Offset demands DNA, it muddies the waters he's trying to sail. And if the conspiracy half of the internet starts whispering baby trap, it doesn't just ding Cardi, it scuffs Stefon too. The memes don't care who signed what. They care who looks foolish today. So where are the fault lines, really? Start with timing. Pregnancy math is unforgiving. There are windows, and those windows are either plausible or they aren't. If Offset and Cardi truly stopped contact months back, his claim looks like a play. If, however, there was overlap, quiet weekends, a late-night text that didn't stay on the phone, then what looks like wild becomes possible. And in celebrity math, possible is all you need for chaos. Pile on the court optics. Cardi's wardrobe became a referendum. Photos turned into Zapruder films. White dress, slight curve, split-second angles, an outfit, not a confession. She tried to keep the circle tight and the silence intact. But silence in a scandal is a vacuum, and vacuums attract voices. By the time the confirmation landed, yes, she's pregnant, yes, she's with Stefon, people had already written 10 different versions of the truth. Then we get the pushback wave. Some fans accuse Cardi of playing in the audience's face, denying what everyone believed they could see. Others argue she has the right to announce on her own terms. Both can be true. But Celebrity PR 101 says, the longer you dance with speculation, the more dramatic the reveal has to be. And the more dramatic the reveal, the more oxygen the skeptics receive. It's a lose-lose with glitter on it. Meanwhile, Offset's posture keeps shifting. The tough talk, the spiritual clapbacks, the smug, "You'll be calling me in a few months" energy. Then the soft underbelly in alleged messages. The "I miss you," the compliments, the late-night Hail Marys. It paints a picture that doesn't line up neatly. And when pictures don't line up, the audience leans in to fill the gaps with their own stories. Here's one story being told online. Offset doesn't want to be old news. If Cardi's next chapter is shiny, aligned, family-forward, that leaves Offset framed as the ex who couldn't keep it together. A paternity plot twist snatches the spotlight back. It forces Cardi and Stefon to play defense. It recenters Offset in a narrative that had moved on without asking his permission. Another story goes like this. Cardi misplayed the optics. The public saw one thing, heard another, felt gaslit, and decided to punish her by believing the messiest possible theory. It's not fair, but perception never promised to be. If you tell the internet no, while the picture says yes, they don't applaud your privacy. They double down on the hunt. And then there's the meanest story of all, the baby trap trope. The claim says Cardi needs a win, a ring, a narrative upgrade, a partner whose brand is so bulletproof that the gossip bounces off. So she allegedly plots a love and baby arc to secure the happy ending. The problem? That trope hates women. It reduces complicated relationships to checklists. It assumes every mother is a mastermind and every father is a wallet. It's easy, it's ugly, and it circulates because it plays to our ugliest biases. Still, somewhere inside the mud there are real logistics that will not bend to rumor. Birth certificates, timelines, co-parenting schedules, court filings. Those will eventually add up to something barcode straight. But scandals don't run on calendars. They run on vibes. And right now, the vibes are dissonant. A couple excited for a baby, an ex demanding a test, and a million spectators pulling for whichever ending best validates their past tweets. Let's talk receipts culture, because it's become the referee in public relationships. Screenshots transform from private proof to public spectacle the moment someone hits post. In this saga, alleged texts have done more damage than any interview clip. The messages don't need to be profound, they just need to contradict the performance. A single "come over" can melt 1,000 "I'm done" posts like ice under a heat lamp. That's why every celebrity today is half star, half litigator, always building a case for or against themselves without meaning to. What will a DNA test actually change? If Offset's claim is theatrics, a result locks him back outside the house, nose pressed to the window. But if he's right, the ground shakes. Custody, support, family titles. Everything gets reordered. The internet would call it karma, fate, or just Tuesday. The people involved would call it a legal matter. And the baby, the only person with zero say in any of this, becomes the center of a mess they didn't create. That's the part the memes never account for. For Stefon, the stakes are brand deep. He can be the devoted partner riding into the delivery room, or the guy the internet says got used. Neither label is fair, but only one is flattering. He has every incentive to lean in, show up, shut the rumors down with presence, not posts. If he fades in the background now, the narrative will write itself without him, and it will not be kind. For Cardi, the blueprint is tougher. She thrives in transparency spiked with humor. But this isn't a club fight or a clapback-friendly beef. This is a paternity storyline with legal tailwinds. She can quip, but she has to calibrate. She can post, but every word will be parsed like a contract. The smartest move is probably the least satisfying to fans. Say less, do more. Let documents, not DMs, carry the day. For Offset, the next move is everything. Double down and he risks becoming the boy who cried father. Stand down and he concedes the stage he just stormed. If there's proof to his claims, he'll let the process breathe and wait. If there isn't, he'll keep performing. Because attention is a currency, and some accounts are overdrawn. Let's rewind to the question people avoid because it makes the whole thing less fun. Why do we care this much? Because celebrity relationships are story mirrors. We project our wins and losses onto them. We judge them to absolve ourselves. We defend them to pretend love can beat odds that statistics say it can't. Cardi, Offset, Stefon. These aren't just three people. They're archetypes we recognize. The phoenix, the trickster, the golden boy. When their scripts collide, we watch because we've seen those collisions in our own lives, just with fewer commas and cameras. If you want a sober take, it's this. Everything can be true at once. Cardi can be genuinely happy and strategically private. Stefon can be supportive in public while messy rumors still orbit. Offset can be hurt, prideful and opportunistic, all before breakfast. They can all love their kids. They can all make mistakes. They can all be the villain in someone else's story and the hero in their own. Now, let's follow the breadcrumbs most people miss. Timing isn't just about dates, it's about PR windows. Big brand deals like stability, big sports seasons like focus, big music moments like silence before the drop. If announcements seem oddly placed, assume the calendar isn't random. You soften a scandal by pairing it with a victory. You bury a rumor by overloading the feed with unrelated wins. Watch the next month. Who drops a campaign? Who signs a deal? Who posts the wholesome carousel exactly when a boiling pot hits overflow? Watch the friends too, not the A-list besties. They're trained for this. Watch the cousins, the stylists, the team interns who forget that stories can be screenshotted. A single congratulatory comment can accidentally nail a timeline to the floor. A single "so proud of you both" posted a week too early can tell you more than a press release. And watch the lawyers. When the jokes slow down and the filings pick up, the temperature changes. Paternity demands, discovery requests, agreements about press conduct. These are the real cues. If you see the phrase "in the best interests of the child," you're reading the document that actually matters. Where does this leave us? In a holding pattern, but not an idle one. The internet wants a plot twist every 48 hours. Real life moves slower. A test will take as long as it takes. Hearts will decide what they're going to do without consulting hashtags. and a baby will arrive into a world that already has an opinion about them. That's the part we should all be humble about. Until we get hard answers, here's what we can say with clarity. Offset's claim didn't come out of nowhere. It came out of a long habit of turning private pain into public theatre. Cardi's silence wasn't pure defiance. It was a strategy that worked until it didn't. Stefon's sheen is bright, but shine doesn't disinfect rumors, it only reflects them. And the internet? It's going to choose whichever story best entertains it, then demand a new one tomorrow. So ask yourself, if the test says Offset isn't the father, does that quiet the noise? Or does the noise just pivot to Cardi trapped Stefon? If the test says Offset is the father, do we retroactively rewrite every post of the last few months? Or do we just feed the outrage machine a bigger meal? Here's my forecast. And pin it if you want to check me later. We'll see a tightening of lips from all camps. The jokes will keep coming from cousins of cousins, but the primary players will go careful. There will be a moment, maybe a carefully staged photo, maybe a black and white carousel, that resets the image of the happy couple preparing for a baby. If Offset's claim has teeth, you'll hear it in a filing before you hear it in a caption. If it doesn't, you'll feel it in the sudden serenity of his page. That's how this usually plays. Until then, remember a truth that never trends. Children deserve quiet. If you have to root for something, root for that. Root for healthy co-parenting, whether the last name on the certificate is one or the other. Root for people to shut up when the room requires it. And root for the possibility, however small, that an era can end without everybody needing to bleed for it. And if you've made it this far, you're exactly our kind of people. Curious, skeptical, and allergic to the first version of any story. We're going to be here through every update, every twist, every carefully placed like on a suspicious post, because where there's smoke in celebrity land, someone is usually waving a fog machine. If you're into deep dives that cut through the noise and give you the full picture, the context, the contradictions, the clues the timeline missed, hit that subscribe button right now and join the Scandal News family. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in this saga, or the next scandal waiting to explode. Your take matters here. Drop your thoughts below. Is this Offset's last gasp for relevance? Or is there a truth bomb waiting to detonate? Is Cardi playing chess while the rest play checkers? Or did she step into a trap with her eyes open? And is Stefon about to become the internet's favorite dad? Or its next meme? We're watching, we're digging, and as always, we'll bring you the story the way it really moves. Messy, layered, and absolutely unmissable. Subscribe to Scandal News. The tea will be hot, the timelines will be tight, and the receipts? We keep them alphabetized.